Hello, my name is LoG and welcome to Quickies number 13, where I show you something that I think is cool in 5 minutes or less. Today we're going to talk about picking mechanics, in particular planting your finger on the body while you're doing alternate picking passages. Most people do this sort of thing, but I think I do it slightly differently than most people, at least that I've seen. Perhaps you're already doing it how I am doing it, but if you're not, I think it might be helpful. So let's zoom in on my right hand to get a better look. So the most common thing that people do when they plant while they're, alternate picking through the strings or whatnot, is they'll either have a finger kind of on the body somewhere that they kind of sit there and anchor off that finger, maybe ring finger, pinky. Sometimes they'll grab a pickup if it's comfortable, maybe grab like the bridge pickup right here and pick like that while the pinky acts as the anchor. Some people will have their wrist kind of on the body like this. That acts as an anchor as they move down. And all of those are perfectly fine and they work for a lot of people. But the main thing for me that I've always done that might be helpful for you is I definitely have an anchor. I have a plant, but my plant moves. Like my anchor is like this moving anchor no matter what I'm doing. And what that does is that allows my hand to stay kind of open and free in however it wants to move. And I never feel like I'm stuck in one spot, which to me has always felt kind of uncomfortable. So I'll show you, there's kind of two ways that I do this depending on what strings I'm on. So the first one is if I'm picking the thick strings like the E, A, or D strings. What I actually do is with my ring finger definitely, but sometimes both my ring and pinky, is I'll grab the bottom string like this. So I'm actually on the string. So I'm sitting on the string, but because it's a steel string and it's very small, I can slide up and down the string while my hand moves, kind of depending on what my hand needs to do. I'm not stuck in one spot. I can slowly, kind of softly move up and down the string. So if I'm just playing like a whatever or something on the thick strings, watch my ring finger and sometimes my pinky too. They'll just kind of sit on this string. So it depends on where I'm at. If I'm here on this thick string, my finger might be kind of right there, but if I continue up, notice how it moves. It's now sliding more back this way. So I was over here on the thick E string and now I'm over here. So it allows my pick or my hand to kind of go wherever it wants, and I'm never stuck in one spot. Like if I'm just sitting here with my pinky or my ring finger locked in this one spot, my hand can't really move that well. It's just kind of stuck right here, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But having this plant that allows me to move like this just feels more natural. It feels more open and kind of comfortable, not like I'm locked in one position. So then you might be saying, okay, well, what would you do if you actually want to pick the high E string, right? Obviously, I can't pick the high E string while sitting on it because I won't hear anything. So in this case, this is my second kind of plant that I do, and I just move my fingers onto the body of the guitar. But here's something really important. I'm not playing, or my fingers are not on the body of the guitar with the fingertip like this. Well, they definitely can't be right now because I have fake nails and it's very hard for me to actually use my fingertip. But even when I was younger and I had normal short nails, instead of doing this on the fingertip, I would curl my fingers and the nail would be the thing that actually touches the body. My fingertips would never touch the body. And what this does, again, because the fingertip is like a soft, like warm material, if you go like this, eventually you're going to stick to the top of the guitar. The friction's a lot more potent with the fingertip than it is with the nail, especially if you're playing on a finish that's like a gloss finish. This isn't really like that, but if you're playing on like a heavy gloss finish, like a Les Paul or something, you can really find yourself sticking to that finish if you're using your fingertip. But if you're using your nail, there is no sticking because it's a nail. It's like a hard surface, your nail on top of another hard surface. So you're just sliding around like this, right? If you're looking at me, straight on, it might not look like I'm planting, but I actually am. My fingers are sitting on the body like this, and I'm moving around like that. So notice what this does. This allows my hand to move freely, but I also get that physical reference of touching the body, and I get that plant, that anchor that most people do, except mine moves around, right? I can move it around freely instead of being stuck in one spot. So if I'm playing like higher strings, watch what happens when I move my fingers down to the body. It's usually like middle finger, ring finger, not really pinky. Generally my pinky kind of stays up in the air, but it's usually these two, mostly my ring finger. So let's just see if I'm like playing higher strings. So you can see what happens there. When I was playing, I also started by using picking fingers a little bit, but you can see when I was on the higher strings, I was here, and then as I transitioned to the lower strings, I went back to my other one where I'm grabbing the string, right? And almost always my middle finger is right kind of next to my pick, because I often use it a lot, like I'll do something like that. But my ring finger, if I do decide to use it, will, you know, leave the body and come up here, and I'll do whatever I need to do to play the figure that I need to play with the fingers. But that's how I'm playing. So if I just play like a straight scale up and down, you'll watch my finger as it stays here on the thick strings, and then it'll migrate down here and kind of scratch the top of the finish or the top of my pick guard when I'm playing the high strings, and then when I'm done, I'll come back, grab the string. So that whole time I have an anchor, but it moves. It's a mobile anchor, and it doesn't feel like I'm locked in one spot. So if I just play like a scale, I'll play it slow, it looks like this. One more time. So you'll notice as I'm moving, playing the high strings, I start to go down here and just kind of continue the playing, continue scratching the guitar, and then when I go to the thick strings, I come back here. So this kind of picking method, I'm not going to say it's going to work for everybody, but it has definitely worked for me. When I was younger, I actually thought it was a problem. I remember I had a teacher that said, yeah, you might not want to do that, because I told him, I'm grabbing the bottom string, is that a problem? And he kind of said, you might not work out for you in the end, but to be honest, I think it's working out really great for me, and so I'm glad I do it, because it's giving me that anchor that, you know, everyone likes because it's more comfortable, but for me, I can move it around. I'm not like stuck in one spot like if I was like this or if I was grabbing the pickup or something like that. So again, might not work for everyone, but I would experiment, give it a try, see if it works for you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.